Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I'm Brendan Lee. In this video, I want to talk to you about equity, or the equity problem. Let me tell you a story. Basically, it's the year 2023 in America, in this country. There's a lot of talk of equity, and there's people searching for equitable solutions to certain problems. There's like a racism problem. There's other problems that are being brought forth that I'm not too clear on the problem, but I get the sense it's that people, what my take is I get the sense that people think that there are unfair things happening. There's like a meme, if you look for this, or not a meme, but an infographic online. There's people of different sizes, right? And they're trying to look over a fence. And the short person can't see over the fence, so they get a platform to boost them up so that they can see over the fence. The medium-sized person gets a little platform, and the big person doesn't need a platform because they can already see over the fence. And then seeing over the fence is synonymous with, getting fair and equal opportunity for things. And people in my family are for this, and I've heard, I hear the arguments, and my instant reaction back a while back was like, something's not right about this, and I didn't know what it was for a while, okay? Something bothered me about this, and, but my main reason for making this video, pardon my ignorance of all the statistics, I am not deep into the statistics, and I don't share the mindset of most of the people that may talk about this problem, likely. Because in my mind, something was wrong, something was off, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was for a while until I talked to somebody recently, and she was talking about this issue. So as I talk about this, for those of you out there who are into equity and you might be listening to this video, before you just blatantly turn it off because you think I'm full of shit, I want you to consider and know that if there are indeed systems that are broken, I'm all about fixing those systems, all right? If there's broken systems, and it looks to me like there are, then I would love to take some politicians, slap them around a little bit, and get them to change some things, all right? If that's really a broken system, good, change the system. And in addition to changing the system, there's another component that really hammered it home for me, and it's this. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Here's something I've learned from being a teacher. If I give people something away for free, they don't take it seriously. They do not take it seriously. In certain areas of life, I cannot give something away for free because if I do, the person who I give it to, by and large, will not take advantage of it. They won't take it seriously enough to put in the work to actually get it. If I'm coaching somebody, which I do not give that away for free. And then somebody might say, yeah, but you should. I'm like, no, I don't need to give that away for free. If you don't pay for it, you're not going to get it. And then I haven't done my job. That has borne out time and time again. I've checked it out, you see. I've talked to this other person, and she was telling me about how she's big into mountain biking and wanted to empower young women and transgender and whomever the fuck wanted to get into doing, say, downhill mountain bike racing. So she came up with this thing. If you want to learn downhill mountain bike racing, I will pay for you to get educated. I will pay for you. That's essentially a free ride. And what happened? Nothing. People didn't do it. You see? In this case, it did not work. You can give somebody everything, and if they don't want it, they won't take it. And again, for myself, if I give somebody coaching, they won't take it seriously enough to make the change that they need to make in order for them to be successful at that. Because it takes a certain amount of work, it takes a certain amount of fire, drive, ambition, what have you. And when people do not pay for something, they don't usually have that. If humans did it the other way, we probably wouldn't need the coaching anyway. You see what I'm saying? So it's like this, it's like a weird catch-22. So in addition, the equity problem, when people talk to me about solving the equity problem and saying, well, we need to have systems in place, we need to make it so that people don't have to struggle, that people should get it for free, that people should get it for doing no work, that people should just get these things, they should be available. I take issue with that because shit isn't equal. Like, it's not available. You can't, in a society where there's so many moving parts, the amount of complexity, what it would take to make everything equitable, so equal access, I just don't see that working because it would bog down. And even if you did make it equal, those people may not want it. So I have an additional solution, and this is the thing that struck me. It was the aspect of take a look at the human beings that do stuff regardless of circumstance. Take a look at the human beings that were brought up in a shitty environment and they made it happen anyway. Study the humans that faced adversity and overcame adversity. I bet you that those people do not stand on excuses. They don't stand on where they've come from. And then, of course, I can hear the arguments because I was fortunate enough to have a certain amount of support. And I can hear the bitching in my head now. Well, you already had support. So, of course, I can't talk about these things, except I can. But the people who have been raised in a shitty environment and have come up a long way, they can talk. And I know a few personally. And they don't rest on excuses. See, now that aspect of the human, that can't be taught or can't be forced on a person. I'm not saying it can't be taught. I'm not saying people can't be invited to do that. But what I'm saying is that aspect of the human being where they do not rest on excuses, their circumstances may be the shittiest circumstances, and they still manage to succeed. That drive, that internal world, that does not come from an external source. You cannot have an external source and force that on somebody. They have to do it themselves. They have to find it in themselves, and that is, I think, the main issue. I think that's a huge piece to that equity puzzle, if you will. If equity is a problem and people aren't succeeding enough, I think this is the direction to look. Yes, we have broken systems, fucking fix them. But the rest of it, in a world that is not fair, that is not, there is not equality. Like, my body is shaped different than somebody else's. I am, by my biological gifts, bigger, stronger than other people, smarter than other people, right? There are people that are smarter than me. My circumstances are my circumstances. You can't control all circumstances to be bright and shiny. People are fucked up. Just look around. You can't control all people so that all people have equitable, equal access, equal upbringing. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, period. I got to acknowledge that. I think it's ignorant to not acknowledge that fact. And I think a huge part of the solution is educating people on the possibility that regardless of circumstance, they can do shit. That aspect comes from inside. It does not come from outside. That aspect of the human comes from inside. Yes, external circumstances, but I know people who have been raised in emotionally abusive households and they overcame that shit. I know somebody who's raised poor as dirt. Uneducated people all around them. And still overcame that from this internal decision to be a certain way. If anything, that's what I would share, and that's, I think, would be money but well spent, is on educating people on how their mind works and how they can create how they're going to be with circumstances. Not that circumstances need to change to fit the individual. The individual needs to change to overcome the circumstances. Because circumstances aren't always controllable. They're not going to be nice all the time. You can't have that. It's an impossibility. You see, and that's, I think, solidified it for me. It's like, yes, that I think would be powerful. That, I think, would be useful. Let people know that they can be generative of their experience. Let people know that they have the power to relate to negative experiences a certain way. Then they choose power, because that is ultimately the choice. See, for example, have you ever met anybody that lives in a world of excuses? Like every problem they come up with, like every solution, right? The quote is, every solution you come up with, they have a problem for that. No matter what. Yeah, but they're bitching. Meanwhile, they're bitching about their problems. They're bitching about how things aren't fair. They're bitching about this, bitching. Well, here's a solution. Yeah, but blah, blah, blah problem. Well, here's another solution. Yeah, but blah, blah, blah problem. Well, here's another solution. Yeah, but blah, blah, blah. So what the fuck? See? That person hasn't understood how disempowering it is to live like that. And that decision to live like that, regardless of circumstance, comes from inside. And it's that inside power. See, so what? You give stuff away. I don't think it works in the long run. I don't think it works at scale. I don't know. I know somebody, they live in France. It's like the government people give so much away. Like the government gives so much to people. The people they're like, how can I take advantage of the government then? There's no impetus for them to fucking work in this subset, in this case, all right? I don't see it. Communism tried to make everything completely equal, and that didn't work either. See, so I don't know. The equity problem, it's like that the reason I'm making this video is I was trying to find, like, what in me had an issue. What in me was like, I don't know about this. Like, something isn't quite right. And what I mean by not quite right is like, something about this is not empowering people. It's not really giving them the chance that they deserve. Because what I think gives people a real chance is if they can separate, they get off their excuses, they get off their stories about what was fair and not fair. It's like, you're an alive human being. You've got YouTube. Yeah, you grew up poor. I can't speak on that. I did not grow up poor. But what the fuck are you doing to help yourself? Regardless of circumstance. Circumstances are not going to be nice. The world isn't going to be fair. And we can try to make it fair. Like I said, again, if there's broken systems, fucking fix the systems. Some of them are outdated, stupid, and broken. Fix it. But the rest is internal. It's the person deciding for themselves that they are going to live a certain way, and there are ways to live that are empowering, and there are ways to live that are disempowering, and it's a choice. And that is what I'm trying to promote in this video, is that choice, that internal choice. What you decide to do for yourself as a human being is your decision, and nobody can teach you, nobody can force you, no system is going to make it work. You have to make it work, and that I think is the crux of the matter for me. It's like that personal responsibility. And I think that was missing from the arguments I would hear from, say, my family, or what I hear. Again, this is what I hear from outside. Where's the responsibility for your own experience? Where is the responsibility for you having a certain relationship to circumstance, regardless of what they are? And if that responsibility is not taken up by the individual, by the person, it won't be there, and they will lack power. And this is my problem. I want people to have real power. Look at what I hear of Nelson Mandela. Locked up for how many years? At some pretty shitty circumstances. And look at the person. Look at the way that that person related to those problems. I think we should take a note of that. Now, how do you teach that to somebody? I can't. I facilitate people to make breakthroughs in their experience, to make massive breakthroughs, right? I can only point. They have to do it. I can't do them. I can point, I can show, I can dialogue, I can work work with their minds, but at the end of the day, if they don't want to get it, that's on them. I can't do anything. I can't. I can lead the horse to water, but I can't make the motherfucker drink. They drink, not me. You see? And that's just flat true. Humanity, flat true across the board. So I think that's missing from the conversation, and I wanted to bring that into the conversation. However many people are going to watch this video, I don't know. See, quit fucking around, with this. It's not my fault. No, take responsibility for what is under your control, and the broken systems, fix them. And then I think we've got a valid solution. I think we've got a solution that might work. But otherwise, trying to control how other people think to make circumstances better for other people, and being totally wrapped up in, well, how do we make it equitable for everybody? How do I dampen myself so that somebody else can have a chance? I don't think this is the way to go. I think we should all be working to build each other up. I'll be as big as I can be, and then you, hurry up. Let me give you a little boost there or something, but I'm not well, I shouldn't be big or I shouldn't be powerful because it'll take away from somebody else. I don't know about that. So anyway, there's something for you to consider. Consider about personal responsibility. Consider about your relationship to circumstance. Consider, what kind of excuses do you make? Where do you hold yourself back? And could you be more powerful? Can you decide to do that? Can you decide to do that? Where is the power in you? Regardless of circumstance. And then, if you are in a position to change systems, fucking get at it, would you? I vote, and I do not have a desire to go dig into a certain system of government to try to change something. And, it's just not my wheelhouse. I'm here to empower people with these videos. I do workshops. I work with people. I empower people in my own way. If you're in government and you're hearing this and you want to fix a broken system, hurry the fuck up, all right? Or if you're out there and you're listening and you really want to fix a broken system, get the fuck going. Let's go. I'm all right with that. But the rest, it's up to you. Okay, how do you want to be? Do you want to be powerful? If so, you have to live by the dictates of what's powerful in a human being. If you want to be strong, you have to be strong. If you want to be smart, you got to be smart. If you want to create good things in the world, you got to create them. If you want to be able to rise up above your circumstances, you have to rise up above your circumstances. And one big aspect of that is you cannot listen to your own bullshit, your own excuses, or your inner bitch, as Joe Rogan would say, or your inner fucking complainer that everybody's got. You see, you don't listen to that bullshit. It's bullshit. If you want to keep yourself weak, listen to that bullshit. Take it seriously. Then you'll be weak. It's just the way it goes. All right, so this is my contribution to the whole equity conversation. I hope it's empowering. I hope it does you some good. If you think it's worthwhile, share it with other people. Let them know. Otherwise, have a fantastic day. I'm Brendan Lee. Check the links in the description. Check my website. Come do some work. Hire me. Come to a workshop. They're awesome. Much love. Take care. Talk soon.